defeat them.
And we're off. Hitsu starts at Sanctuary. This is likely a Houlihan opening, which is pretty good opening for Retro as you get 225 rupees right off the bat. And a quick map check. Saw crystals at Eastern and Hera. Saw something at Desert. Not sure what
Red
pendant.
I believe.
Red pendant, okay.
Yeah, Houlihan start is a very powerful start here in Retro because rupees are going to be such a big concern in the game.
Net cave check. Well, it's not a bad idea because those caves could be shuffled over to a Take Any cave or a Sword cave. Or it could be an arrow shop.
Yeah, one of the other changes to Retro is those Take Any caves. There are 4 single entrance caves in the game that will be replaced with a Take Any cave. 3 of those Take Any caves will give you the choice between a blue potion refill and a heart container, but one will be a free sword. And that sword is considered by the logic, so it is possible that Take Any cave is absolutely required to complete the seed. But it takes such a long time to check all the caves that it's a very common play in Retro to just not Take Any caves and hope that it's not required.
Unfortunately for our runners, that bush isn't going to hurt the Lionel, but the Lionel beams aren't going to pass through it.
Hitzian and Plasma both satisfied finding only 1 bomb there, but GTG sticks around and makes sure to get 3. That'll be enough for everything in Kakariko.
It's probably a good idea because the race game has flippers today.
Yeah, Plasma Kappa and Hitzian are both going to be out of bombs when they get to Kakariko. They may opt to go back over to the Grove and get some more. Oh, Hitzian finding 2 green cards in the bushes.
Plasma Kappa had a green push guard as well. That's one of the scary things about Enemizer. You never know when that could happen.
Alright, Hitzian's take 3. GTG tries to run through the guards, didn't quite make it. Hitzian also unable to pass those green guards.
That might be a good check post Kakariko after doing the rest of Kakariko checks, because there might be something helpful, such as, hey, fire rod on the bottle vendor.
Looks like Hitzian's just going to go buy some bombs. There's a bubble in the way as well. He's going to take 2 hearts just to check this single entrance.
But we found an arrow shop. And to answer that question in chat, the bush enemies can quite literally be anything.
Yeah, green guards aren't exactly the best thing to find, but they're pretty far from the worst.
And something tripped up Plasma Kappa.
Hitzian barely dodged that Ropa. But he made it to back at the hospital's hut. Green pendant in Turtle Rock.
Blue potion. That's a Hasrula. Nice. As Frostbite unleashes the Beator.
I feel like he didn't need to use his B right there. Like,
I
none of the
think
enemies were completely horrible. He could have taken a few hits and still done that. He may be missing that B later.
Single rupee tree pull, nah, not very good.
Frostbite check-in sit kit, just a key.
We got a glove in Blind's hideout.
But you can see like Hitzian checking that chess game at the top there. That is specifically looking for Take Any Caves. He wants to find that sword.
Considering the start of this seed, I don't blame him. SA's last bomb picks up a bee in a bottle.
But it can be any single entrance cave, any cave, any house, any door that has only one entrance and one exit, and they're the same thing. Any of those can be Take Any Caves. Frostbite not playing around with that green guard, fire rods him to get through this, to get through those flippers. And GTG finding our first Take Any Cave. He picks up that heart container. Easy choice there.
Yep, nice choice to make. Also, nice use. Oh, and well, got 100 rupees for the bee, pays him back, gets the fire rod. Nice trade-off, SA.
Looks like Frostbite finishes the Kakariko checks first. He will be headed down to South Shore, checking this Take Any Cave on the way. And it is a Take Any Cave. Another heart container, please.
Always a good choice. One strategy that I see specifically in Zelda 1 Rando is that oftentimes the last Take Any Cave, the runners will pick up the blue potion. In this case, which is a red potion in that game, but that withstanding, I wonder if our runners will grab the free potion if they find all three, or if it gets laden.
I think it mostly depends on like your current situation, like which sounds better to me, an extra heart container or blue potion refill. Like a lot of the runners still have the B, so they wouldn't be able to buy the potion anyway.
Speaking of, Plasma Kappa goes for the potion. And we found the bug net. Oh gosh, Back of Escape has got a Lionel.
Lionels, they hurt, but they're not too troublesome in big, wide open areas like that. Finding the mitts, though, in Back of Escape.
Yeah, in a wide open area, Lionel isn't really the biggest concern. It's when you start getting into tight corridors, like trying to get into Eastern, where Lionels can be pretty nasty.
Frostbite's Fire Rod not too effective against mini Helmosaurs. He has to resort to bombs, putting him down to one remaining.
Well, the bomb worked because the mini Helmosaur got blasted down a pit. Not to fear, there is a 50-50 bomb rock coming up. Plasma Kappa gets greeted rudely by an ambushing guard.
I see Frostbite using those flippers. He's going to check out Hobo on his way to Ice Rod Cave.
Good strategy. Well, he needed bombs, so that worked out pretty good in that situation. And Plasma Kappa safely through, about to get his Titan's mitts. And I don't blame them for the save and quit at all, because dark rooms with Enemizer, yeah, bad idea.
Yeah, dark rooms can be pretty dangerous at the best of times, but when all of those really nice enemies that do quarter heart of damage might be spike rollers doing 4 hearts, makes sense to save it for later. And there's an Emperor in Ice Rod Cave.
So our Ice Rod Cave is required, so we already know where the Dark World access is.
Frostbite will continue and check these entrances, hoping to find a sword. No such luck.
Yeah, no dice.
He'll go on to the Zora checks now.
It's a good thing our runners have actual flippers, because trying to fake flipper this with Enemizer, sketchy. Because one hits the death. And your mobility in the water isn't as good. Good improvisation by GTG in the mini Moldorm cave. And we're getting, for empty bottles at the ferries, we are getting a fairy in a bottle. That's pretty good for Enemizer, because you never know when a dangerous enemy is going to come up and knock you out.
Yeah, there's lots of positions, especially on the overworld, where like a big enough spike roller could make it impossible to get by without taking damage.
Actually, come to think of it, I could have used a fairy in a bottle this past week. For those of you who saw that particular featured race, y'all know what I'm talking about. What's the scam from King Zora, by the way?
Just a fire shield. Frostbite takes it up, though.
Well, the fire shield isn't really a scam, technically, because those cost 500 rupees anyway, so... yeah.
Frostbite does take the time to run over here and grab the blue boomerang, though. The blue boomerang won't unlock any locations, but it's nice for menuing, just to have something on that top row. And, you know, now it even has, like, the stun prize as a possibility.
Yeah. For this mode, arrows are out of the stun prize, so there's a higher likelihood of that being a rupee as a result. But you never know, it could still be something helpful.
So GTG is our first player with Dark World access, but he's going to run over here and grab the flippers that he was unable to get before.
Frostbite has picked up the wooden arrows. So with that, once they find the bow, they may fire when ready. Deadrock's making things tough on the bridge.
GTG was getting bodied by the guards the first time I raced him, but this time he just gets completely lucky and gets no bush enemies.
And Plasma Kappa is leaving the bug net behind.
Don't want it, don't need it. Nobody wants to go to the dark world. Oh, here we go. GTG's going for it.
GTG's gonna be our first. Worth noting that GTG is playing as a Sailor Moon sprite. With Hitsuyan choosing Dark Link. Not sure about the other two runners, though.
Look like a Pendant Pod and I think Red Crystal at Minor? Frostbite actually dipping into Eastern. He has yet to be to back of Escape yet, so no tank turns quite yet.
Well,
sword.
That is actually going to work out well for him because nobody has yet to find a sword. So he's the first of our 4 featured runners to be so armed.
GTT opts to not go up to the vanilla big key chest. Makes a little bit of sense. He already has the fire rod, so he can always do it whenever he comes back. He's just not interested in checking out the rest of Skullwoods right now, when he can't even get to the boss. But I don't believe he found gold fighters.
Yeah, Bumper Cave is not required. Plasma Kappa picks up the wooden arrows and gonna grab some bombs to boot.
I don't know why he doesn't buy a key.
That may be later on, but to have one of the key shops at the Lake Hylia shop is really good because there are times where you just get trolled by needing that shop and the only one you find is like on Death Mountain or something like that.
I just answered chat real quick. We have enemy shuffle, but there's also boss shuffle. It is full boss shuffle, not chaos bosses. So the number of each boss will remain the same, but where they are is different.
We have our first dip into Thieves Town, and it starts with the Thieves Town Big Key. And our 5-6 is Swamp and Mire.
Itsian and Plasma Kappa headed into the front of Skullwoods. We'll see if they go farther than GTG did. Although they also do not have a sword.
Same with Hitsu. And we got our first Wallmaster sighting.
Wallmasters work a little differently than other enemies. Rather than just being a regular enemy shuffle that replaces another enemy on the screen, Wallmaster is a flag for a room. So any room that always had a Wallmaster will still have a Wallmaster, but any room that didn't have a Wallmaster could have one. It's like Frostbite's having trouble getting to this darn key. We got it. He's going to continue on through Eastern Palace. While this is logically bow locked, like the game will assume that he has the bow to go past the where the red arrow doors would normally be. the red Geigers will actually never be there.
Plasma Kappa can't get the statue home and takes a death. Now, the annoying thing is that floating skull enemy. Now, here's something that some may find a little creepy. Those skulls can float through walls in Enemizer on the same super tile.
Frostbite working real hard to get rid of that Gibdo. Let's finally take it down. And now, with 4 hearts and a fighter sword to his name, he has to fight
Vanilla! I would say spin to win here, honestly, but that's just me.
This is definitely not the boss he was hoping for.
Hey, it wasn't a try next, so...
Yeah, I think when you're this low on equipment, you really want to find, like, Mocula and Moldorm.
Land Mola would have been better than this. Actually, another boss that it could have been that would have been really bad, Vitreous.
Frostbite plays it nice and safe, takes him down, not too quickly, but, you know, very safely, and makes it through.
Got it done! That's all that happens. And yes, Math Girl, the fire rod does work on the Armas. Both rods work on them, fire or ice.
Yeah, fire rod actually does a significant amount of damage to Armas, but Frostbite only had the 1 shot, so he saved it for that red one at the end.
Yeah, he saved it for the right time. I agree with that. I remember Nintendo Magazine mentioning that there were up to 5 bosses in the game that could be damaged with the ice rod.
I don't know. I guess Trinex counts.
Well, I think they were just talking about Ice Rod and a Sword, except for their final phase. Well, that's how I count Argus and that. Oh, and we got Kate of Samaria at the chess game, as GTG has the Blacksmith World Tour going on, with Ether and Hype Cave. Yep, that is a Hype Cave.
And despite 1,000 rupees, GTG's not buying keys? There he is. Okay. You never know when you're gonna need keys. Like going into like Palstarters or something. That's 6 keys that you would need to open all the key doors there. So when you have like a plethora of rupees, it just makes sense to buy some keys every time you find a shop.
Well, to bring up a point in chat that was just made about Ether not being very hype, when it comes to Enemizer, I'm gonna say that Ether can be really helpful in clearing out certain rooms depending on the enemy set. Like any room where you got those dark, shadowy creatures skittering along, you can just use Ether Medallion and clear the whole room.
Yeah, medallions are very strong in Enemizer for that reason. There's so many rooms in the game that you know, would have like 5+ really easy to defeat enemies, and in Enemizer, those really easy to defeat enemies can be Gibdos or Lionels. So having a weapon like the Ether Medallion that just freezes everything on the screen can make that so much easier. Yeah, like
we just found Helmasaur King and Blind's room, and Mitsuyan not interested. Plasma Kappa also not interested. because they don't have the means of getting past phase 2. They would need a sword or a bow. You can beat the phase 1 with bombs, however.
Yeah, worth noting that using bombs in phase 1 is actually logical. So, like, you can be required to fight Helmasaur without a hammer in Enemizer.
Yeah, I think I had a seed like that once, and it was an early Helmasaur King in Desert. Because right now, only Frostbite can do such a fight.
Yeah, Frostbite just now getting to the Dark World for the first time after his dip through Eastern. I would imagine he will do that Helmasaur fight, assuming he still has some bombs left over. And soon finding the Sanctuary Heart in the tin game. Clutch full heal. Catfish not paying off today, just a piece of heart.
Yeah, it's worth noting that Skull Woods can only be certain bosses, like you could wind up having a Moldorm or an Argus there, for example. If it's an Argus, well, you need the hook shot, so that'd be a save and quit.
Yeah, curious to see if Frostbite's going to continue to the back of the dungeon. None of the other players did so. This vanilla big key room, though, is so frustrating with that Antifairy. The Antifairy can fit into places that Gibdos can't, so where pulling the statue back will feel safe if you got the Gibdo out of the way. The Antifairy can do exactly what he just did and make his way to the back of the room. Frostbite's got plenty of hearts to deal with this stuff. Picks up a compass as his reward.
Yeah, that anti-fairy positioning is taking away a lot of magic.
Yeah, I think he might just Death Warp now.
Nah, I think he's going for the back. Oh, gosh. That's one part of Enemizer that can be daunting. Those big spikes can appear in some of the most obnoxious places imaginable. Emphasis on obnoxious.
Are you not going to Death Warp? Frostbite, just Death Warp!
He has a fairy. He's got a fairy.
That's right. That's why he's not Death Warping.
Ooh,
we're trying to
good
hit there in the Death Cave. The bow is in the dark.
I'm thinking that's implied.
Yeah, there's not that many rooms in the game that qualify as having chests and being in the dark, and most of them are in Palace of Darkness. Other ones it could be is like the Old Man on the Mountain counts and the Dark Cross chest in the escape.
And that back chest was just 5 rupees now. If there were, oh yeah, the fairy, but I was going to say, without it, that would have been a good spot to Death Warp. Might actually have to use the fairy to get past this mess, though.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. Stealthily dodging that anti-fairy. He'll pick up some hearts here.
So GTG, now having the hammer, didn't see where it was picked up, but with that hammer, can now beat Helmasaur King. But hitting the gem with a hammer, yeah, that's a tricky fight. Ooh, hammersmiths, I get you.
Yeah, it's actually super duper dangerous to try and hit Helmasaur's Phase 2 version with just a hammer. Like, it's a little easier with a sword because you can extend the range of your upswing. But to do it hammer only it's just going to be really, really hard. And
I don't
Frostbite
think
drops
anybody's...
down. And we have... Hold on.
Oh god, it's got 3 eyes, and it's having trouble getting going on this conveyor belt.
Yeah, it's kind of a super annoying place to fight Moldorm, but it is, like, relatively safe.
Also, nobody's getting that thief sound hint tile. The spike slider's right in front of it.
And finally, Frostbite takes down Moldorm and gets a hook shot for his triple.
Oh, wow!
So that early dip into Eastern paying off huge for Frostbite, getting him to this boss that nobody else currently has access to.
Frostbite just definitely jumped out ahead with that. The early Eastern dip, which it's worth noting, some runners don't like doing that. I've gravitated away from that in recent times myself. In this case, it's paid off huge.
It makes more sense in Enemizer because, like, you don't absolutely need the bow, even though it's logically required. But you have to do the dark room still, so it was a big risk-reward situation there for Frostbite, and definitely got rewarded.
No doubt about that.
Yeah, that's true, Surger. GTG has the hammer and could kill Moldorm, but without a sword, he can't get to the Skulls.
Plasma Kappa taking the free potion. And I believe that was our third take any cave.
That means there will be one more, and it'll have the sword in there.
Thinking about where we haven't been, chances are it's probably on Death Mountain.
Oh, there's quite a few single entrance caves throughout the game. So it looks like GTG is going back through Easttown. He's going to give that Moldorm, or that Helmasaur fight a chance.
Certainly doable, but it's not going to be easy. And here we go.
So the hammer's going to make Phase 1 a bit easier, rather than just throwing bombs. But Phase 2 is still going to be quite immensely difficult. He's got 1. 3 to go. There's 2. 3. Oh, don't die! Don't die!
Got him!
Nice job,
Nicely
GTG.
done! Having the damage boost into Helmasaur King to get those hits was what he had to do, but he got her done.
Yeah, the damage boost isn't necessary if you're like frame perfect. You can hit them without having iframes, but iframes make it so much easier. So good thing he had enough hearts to handle the fight that way.
Meanwhile, we've got Hitsuyan and Pod. That hint of the bows in the dark sticks out in my mind because I do think we will see it here unless it happens to be in Dark Cross.
both Hitsuyan and Plasma Kappa bringing just enough keys to full clear this dungeon. I mean, you can save keys by doing the hammer jump or the potion camera unlock glitch to get to the Bowock side. But it's hammer jump's not always really possible in Enemizer.
And the pod hint is a heart container is above the pose. Meanwhile, Frostbite taking on Helmasaur King with bombs has the mask off, and now it's going to be about 8 sword spins with a fighter sword.
Gets sniped by the tail, though. He saw that fairy? Yep. But yeah, that's right. 8 sword spins will take out Helmasaur. He can also do the hammer if he had it. Oh, he doesn't have the hammer yet.
Yeah, Frostbite hasn't done any part of the Smith chain, and it's the front part that does that.
8 spins is significantly easier than trying to kill him with the hammer. Takes it down, no problem.
Now the question is, will Frostbite go into the rest of the dungeon? I don't remember there being anything particularly useful in the rest of Thieves' Town, but Hitsuyan does take a death.
Yeah, he was death warping because he didn't have a hammer to continue from the Bowock side.
And I believe
Plasma
that's
Kappa does the same thing.
Yeah.
Frostbite opts to not go to the back of Thieves' Town. I don't know how many items are left there, but there should be at least one.
I think we saw everything on Restream, and I don't remember there being anything of significance. Oh gosh, that wall master's gonna make hammer jumping near impossible.
Yeah, good thing they have enough keys though. The hammer jump's not vital. You see Hitsuyan even farming up rupees to make sure he can buy more keys later.
That's definitely a good call, as this is a room where there's a lot of rupees, yes, but you gotta get them all on your first attempt, or else you won't be able to get them on subsequent visits. There's the lamp.
Lamp
It's
in Alzheimer's.
in harmless Hellway chest, although honestly today, that's anything but harmless. You get the Quake Medallion in the dark. And, well, whoa! Hitsuyan hammer jumping to the boots. I said near, good thing I said near impossible, or else I would have been proven very wrong.
Still no bow though. Leaves very few options for this in the dark bow.
Yeah, I would say.
With that lamp,
I'd
though,
say it's Dark
in
Cross.
In Dark Cross, it could be the old man as well. I don't think anybody's been up the mountain quite yet. Although with that lamp, we now have logical access to that mountain.
Yeah, the lamp giving us logical access to both means I'd say it's time to tee off on both.
And
Well,
we're
that's
still on
nice
the
and
hunt.
calming.
We're still on that hunt for that take any sword.
Even so, we just found something very nice under the bonk rocks, half magic. Which has been picked up by both Plasma Kappa and Hitsuyan. Very helpful, especially in an Enemizer setting where chances are you're going to have to use medallions a lot more.
So it looks like we have GTG headed here into Eastern Palace. He will be able to pick up a sword here, at the very least.
Now we're getting Uncle checks.
Yeah, I think this is going to lead them into Dark Cross.
It would be a very good lead into it. Piece of heart. As down comes a Stalfos Knight. One thing that I do like about Enemizer is that it tests how much a runner knows about the game and how well they do against different enemy types. Example, Hinox always go down if they get hit by one bomb blast.
Neither Hitsuyan or Plasma Kappa having a sword, they have to resort to Fire Rod strats to get through this.
Oh, it's just like opening standard random weapon with a fire rod. And half magic.
Just with red spear guards and big spikes.
Yeah, those big spikes can pop up in some really nasty areas. Emphasis on nasty.
Oh, I see. He was preparing a death warp.
Good thinking with the can of Samaria strats. I believe one of our runners might have, but at the same time, that I don't believe that's necessary with Enemizer logic.
Right, the potion glitch will never be needed.
Oh, and look at this. Death warp's not needed. We can just take the Wallmaster elevator.
Yeah, so the way that works with the Bullock rooms is that Enemizer forces all enemies that must be killed to continue to be killable only by bombs. So those enemies will never be red mimics or red Igors. But because the items are placed before the enemization happens, those rooms are still logically locked by the bow. So the bow cannot come from behind those rooms.
But there is one place the bow can be. Oh, you just ruined my lead into that game. Ah, well, old man's got it on Death Mountain, calling it right now.
Yeah, I believe that's the only one left that counts as locked by the lamp, as in the dark. I'd have to check the list.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Maybe Vitreous? Does Vitreous count as in the dark?
Well, you'd have to go through the dark to get to Vitreous, so...
Oh, and Castle Tower, that's right. This is retro, so 2 items in the front of Castle Tower.
Well...
And the second one will definitely be in the dark.
Well, we are a cape or a sword short, and game, that's just so wrong.
GTG getting all the way to Vanilla Armos, and like Frostbite before him, Fighter Sword is the best weapon he's got. He has quite a few more fire rod shots though, so he'll be able to use those. Yep, he's waiting for them all to be grouped up and use as many as he could.
Frostbite gets the lane. And down goes the Armos. Oh hey, we found where our Take Any Cave is, and the Frustration Slashes from Plasma Kappa.
Oh, we found the sword?
Yep, it was just south of Eastern. So now, this will count as the Master Sword for Plasma Kappa coming up.
Which gives us logical access to those two chests in Aga Tower. GTG walking right by it, unfortunately.
Itsuyan missed it too.
This is really unfortunate because it's very possible that that is the only way to get to the bow, is by getting that Take Any Cave. Of course, you know, Enemizer, so everybody can do all of the bow lock things without the bow. Except for fighting the boss in Palace of Darkness.
Yep, that one is hard required.
It is a pendant though, so they may not ever need to do that.
Well, we just got a hint of a bottle being in Ice Palace, but we might be in go mode by that point. Just saying.
Well, Ice Palace is currently full playable as soon as everybody goes to get the hammer like GTG did. It's just like with the boss shuffle, Ice Palace is like one of those dungeons where getting back to the boss, if it ends up being something you couldn't kill on the first trip, is such a long dip. A very huge time loss to have to go back through the dungeon. So typically you try and like put it off for a little bit, favoring overworld over dungeons.
Yeah, for sure. Going into Ice Palace now, you'd be gambling that you'd be able to kill that boss, and right now, we're 2 items away from being in what I like to call boss go mode, which is, I say that term for Enemizer, because at that point, there is not a boss that can stop you. I prefer to call that term borrowed the hammer from the Smiths.
Frostbite ends up being our very first player on the mountain, using the hookshot to go across the bottom here.
so it looks like our bow is indeed in Cat's Tower. And right now, Plasma Cat is the only of our 4 featured runners who can make a go at it.
So if I remember correctly, the Master Sword damage is like the worst thing you could do to Armos. So if he uses any sword damage here, he'll want to be doing spins and not swipes.
Yeah, that sounds about right. There are a few bosses where Master Sword only does more damage when you do spins. Moldorn's tail being one of them.
Sure, yeah, he can do pokes as well. Lots of anti-fairies here in Spiral Cage for Frostbite.
That counts as a speed trap for sure. And we got the ice rod on the floating island. Expect that to be picked up real soon. Question is, will Frostbite do that before or after Hera?
I mean, why would he wait? I'm confused.
Well, he has the mirror, so never mind. What am I thinking?
I mean, it's possible he'll just forget about it, I guess. A lot of stuff to keep and track in your mind, right, when you're playing Rando, especially like Enemizer Rando.
Oh, hey, we've got our 3rd medallion located. Bombos is on the Lake Hylia Island.
Oh, very rough, big spike.
Oh, that big spike position is nasty. And it just said, no dice to you to Frostbite. And it did it again. Man, there's some spots in Enemizer where some things shouldn't be. Like, that big spike is just in an awful position.
Meanwhile, GTG making his way through Ice Palace now, and he's gonna use medallions to his advantage in this 3 red Zazax room.
Looks like our stun prize is only a green rupee, so our runners are not going to be abusing that. As Frostbite is our first runner to grab the ice rod.
Yeah, as horrible as it is, he now has logical access to Trinex without a hammer or a Master Sword. Or it might be... No, he has 3 magic extensions, yeah, so he can definitely kill Trinex logically right now. I think it's 3 magic extensions for Fighter Sword Trinex.
The worst I've tried Trinex for would be going for Swordless, which with Hammer is pretty much your only option.
Yeah, Fighter Sword Trinex, you have to do spins on the heads after freezing them with the rods, and it's really difficult to get very many hits in at a time. With certain boss positions in certain rooms, you can get like double spins if you do it to the side, but it's really RNG if that's even possible. Hopefully we
And a
just don't
first
see
try
it.
bomb jump.
We find out that the cape is in the Pyramid Fairy.
For Enemizer, I would consider that worth going for, because there are some spots where you have to use the cape to get by.
GG switching to Ether this time, a little easier than killing everything with the Fighter Sword while it's stunned. And we have Cold Stare up at the top of Tower Para. We got Half Magic. We got Fire Rod. No problem.
The only unfun part of this fight is going to be phase 2, because it's the Cold Stare phase 2 damage, but with the risk of getting troll warned.
Fire Rod simplifies everything greatly. And Frostbite gets a map.
Nicely done.
And
that is not easy.
Frostbite is really taking away this game with the Crystal Lead here.
Yeah, up to 4.
Yeah, everything stemmed from finding that very early sword in Eastern Palace.
That mirror might draw him back towards Smith Chain, which is what I would be hoping for, because that'll lead him right to the hammer. So, for Misery Mire, the big key is not on the Firelock side. As Plasma Kappa now taking on Trinex, using bombs but having the Master Sword will make phase 2 a bit easier.
And of course, by Trinex, you meant Helmasaur. But I gotcha.
Yep. I've had Trinex in that room before.
Yeah, the key here is to play it safe and cook the bombs. He gets it, 2 bombs left. And just 4 spins here with the Master Sword to take out Helmasaur. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Absolutely. And with that, Helmasaur King is down. While Hitsuyan is taking out Moldworm.
Looks like Frostbite feels a little bottleneck. He's going to make his way back to Village of Outcasts for the Smith sequence. This is the play he needs to make. That's where the hammer is.
Yeah, I can certainly see where this would be a bottleneck. Perhaps he didn't want to do this without the mirror, which is understandable. This is not a fun sequence to do without the mirror.
That was the friendliest room before Cold Stare I've ever seen. Unfortunately, he finds Argus at the bottom of Ice Palace. Can't do that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's the equivalent of taking a death with Cold Stare in NMG in terms of time loss.
It was a Cold Stare at the top of Tower Para. Just to answer Mind Me. So Frostbite's got his hammer now. He'll continue and turn in this purple chest, and I think he may dip into Swamp Palace following this.
I'm surprised Frostbite did not do hammer pegs while right there. Maybe it slipped his mind. Although by virtue of beating Moldworm, now Hitsuyan with the hook shot is is already over Death Mountain.
Oh! That's clear. Frostbite finds that flute there in Cave 45, and I think that's no mode for us? No, we need to know the Meyer Medallion. No, we know where the Phobos is. Yeah, that's no mode. We know where everything is, guys. We can beat the game. The runners can't, though. So a Frostbite finding that flute diverts him completely away from Swamp Palace. He's going to go activate that flute right now. Plasma got his Master Sword. Well, it was technically his Fighter Sword, but the sword that he got that nobody else got was from the Take Any Cave at Flute Spot 5. No, 4. The one by Eastern. 5? Yeah, 5. Every other runner has been near that cave, but nobody opted to actually walk inside and check it. Okay, Frostbite can head over to the Mire area, and this will give us the last piece of information that we need to finish the game, which medallion opens up Mire. Of course, he doesn't check it. There it is. It's Bombos. Okay, so Bombos is on Hylia Island. The bow is gonna be in in Agate Tower. And his Master Sword, we know, is in that Take Any Cave. Of course, there could be other swords available somewhere. Plasma kept him making his way into Agate Tower, and unless we forgot something, I'm pretty sure the bow has to be in this second chest here. Plasma Kappa being our only runner with access to Agate Tower, this can be a huge break in the race for him. And there it is, the bow, the D, everyone's favorite retro weapon. Yeah, I guess finding the bow is really not that big a deal, because Helmosaur will not be required to see. But if he finds like silvers or something, that will definitely make a big difference on the Ganon fight. And it was logically required to do Eastern Palace. Very nice. Frostbite, however, is still looking for that sword. He's going to dip into Swamp Palace here. But assuming Frostbite knows where the Bombos medallion is, which he should, I believe he's already done the flipper checks. he's essentially in Sword Go mode. I'm surprised he isn't just beelining to all of the take any caves that he hasn't checked yet. Mirror is in Paradox Cave. Maybe he'll just find a sword on the way. I'm not sure how full clear he's going to be from this point. Does he even realize how close to go mode he is? Well, he checks the south chest anyway. Meanwhile, Plasma Kappa going through Super Bunny Cave. This will lead him up to the Ice Rod on the floating island. And Hitzian about to start his Cold Stare fight. Da, 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 da. Putting that Fire Rod to use, trying to maximize its effectiveness before you resort to Fighter Sword spins. Getting knocked off at this point would be so detrimental. He would be completely out of magic. Takes down Cold Stare, no problem. Meanwhile, Frostbite going through Swamp Palace. He opted not to do left side, makes a lot of sense. But still opening extra chests, looking for that sword. No luck yet in Swamp Palace. Plasma Kappa did not see the floating island before. Now he knows. Back to Hookshot Cave we go. Hitzian, meanwhile, has finally been bottlenecked just enough to make the Smith sequence start looking really good. He's going to get his hammer here from the blacksmiths. While GTG opens up Turtle Rock. Do you go inside, GTG? Don't do it. Okay, he's not doing it. Oh, a second arc. Oh, it's full shuffle. I was thinking normal shuffle this whole time. So full shuffle is 3 random bosses are double, not the same 3. When I explained it earlier, I had it wrong. Yeah, so full shuffle will be 3 bosses will be double, but it's random which 3. So in this case, it happens to be double the artist, and it could be double Trinex and Cold Stare for all we know. We haven't seen any other doubles so far. Right, in the vanilla game, those 3 double bosses are Armos, Lambo, and Moldorn. But for full shuffle, it's going to be completely random. I'm curious, did the players ask for Chaos bosses?
Not sure about that, but what I am sure of is Frostbite just got the Bombos medallion.
Yeah, he needs that Bombos medallion to get into Misery Mire. Putting Frostbite just a sword from Go mode and the bow from Logical, although it won't be necessary.
As GTG gets the ice rod. Thanks for that in chat. Retro and Enemizer weren't the only two things that tied in the poll. Inverted was the third part of the tie.
I knew I should have registered a Twitter account so I could have broken the tie.
I don't know about that, but I ain't gonna get into it about Twitter here and now. It's another topic for another day, and this ain't it.
Plasma taking down Cold Stare in Tower of Hera, getting his 4th crystal. Frostbite still maintaining that lead. He's on his 5th crystal, about to get his 6th. And I would expect Frostbite from this position to just essentially go mode Ice Palace. He might check like the Freezor chest, but I don't think he's going to go to the right side.
Yeah, and I don't think there was anything worthwhile over there to begin with.
He still needs to find a sword, but he knows that there's going to be one in the Take Any cave. So if he doesn't find one on the way, I would expect him to just start checking all the caves that he missed, which hopefully he'll remember to check that one by food spot 5.
At this point, GTG is going to have to use hammer strats or sword spins. And fighter sword spins to fight Cold Stare. As someone who has tried that, it's not fun.
Hitzian picking up his flute, activating it, and immediately heading over to the potion shop to get some bottles. I assume. Yeah, there it is.
Meanwhile, Frostbite lights up the room on fire, taking out everything but the Arma statue that was not moving.
Yeah, Bombo's very, very useful in Enemizer. But Hitzian's in the same boat as Frostbite now, just a sword from go mode.
Well, this is going to give Plasma Kappa the hammer. Well, Crazy, the Twitter poll was tied between Retro, Enemizer, and Inverted. All three of those would have been another type of evil.
Plasma checking hammer pegs with his newly found hammer of smashing. This should lead him south to Cave 45, where he will find the flute, which he definitely needs to finish the game. Still missing the ice rod, though. Did he not pick up the ice rod? He was up on the mountain already.
I don't know.
He'll menu here in a second. Oh, he does have the ice rod, it's just not marked. So Flute is going to be essentially go mode for Plasma Kappa. All he has to do is head over to that Bombos medallion as soon as he finds out it's required.
And that chest doesn't want to go in that cave. That's the thing with Purple Chest. It won't follow you into caves.
It does dutifully wait outside, though, but Plasma Kappa recognizes that the flute was his go mode item, and he leaves that purple chest behind. He'll go activate his flute, find out Bombos is required, and then go grab that. So he does get go mode before Frostbite and hits again, but he is a little bit behind in dungeon clears.
Wow! Frostbite with the one cycle using the Ice Rod. Nicely done! First time I've seen that.
Plasma does have some ground to catch up here. 2 crystals behind Frostbite, but he does have the advantage of he already got a sword. Frostbite's still looking for it.
Good time to potion up. But he's been told, hey, you're out of empty bottles.
There are 2 more swords in the game, but they're not guaranteed to be anywhere you want to go. It's like, it's certainly possible, like, it's a sword on Trinex and Helmosaur, right? And Frostbite's definitely not going to be getting those on his way to GP.
Or a sword in the pedestal like the vanilla game. Yeah, the only reason the bow would be explicitly needed in this mode is if Pod were a crystal. Because then you'd need bow to clear Pod.
Frostbite headed through Mire now. This is his last crystal and his last chance to find a sword before GT. With so many chests being in GT, I would imagine he's going to go there hoping to find a sword on the way. But he does also know that there has to be a sword in a Take Any cave. So he may opt to start checking caves.
Oh, unlucky with that one sword swing. Same frame as that Bari electrifying. The tie does not go to the runner in that case.
Big key in the spike chest of Mire. We call this God Mire.
Yep, the best Mire, and hey, we got ourselves a vanilla Argus, but the room certainly does not look vanilla.
Yeah, Enemizer removes the water on the floor here because it messes with the other bosses that can be placed in the room. So a little unfortunate for Frostbite because the rest of the chest in Mire are just more locations that he's not going to be checking for a sword. I think he was probably hoping for like a late big key just to give him more opportunities to find that weapon.
Possibly. I mean, in best case scenario there, big key is in the map chest next to the big chest. That would have been his best bet, but not to be.
Vanilla Vitreous in Misery Mire. Thanks, game.
Is this even randomized?
This is definitely not the boss that Frostbite wanted to see.
Without a bow, heck no.
No Kata Berta, no Master Sword, no cape, no bow, no silvers. We are gonna fighter sword spin to win.
I'm surprised he's not throwing bombs in there to get some damage on the eyes that way.
Yeah, it would certainly be helpful.
It would be sure, it's not a lot of damage, but any bit of damage is helpful in this case.
Yeah, the big value to throwing bombs is that it hits so many of the eyes at a time. Even though it does the same damage as a... I think it's the same damage as a fighter sword spin. But because of the ooze on the floor, he's only able to get like 2 or 3 eyes in a spin at a time, but the bomb could hit like 6 or 7.
Yeah, true that. Meanwhile, GTG has the flute and is about to find out the truth about Misery Mire. Well, rather, one of 2 inconvenient truths about it.
Frostbite down to a single heart. He's not drinking a potion, makes me think he doesn't have one. Oh, he takes a death.
Ah, the lightning fried him! Oh boy, this could be rough. I'd potion up personally, but that's just me. Well,
Yeah,
he's taking a save and quit.
He can go grab potions, he can go, increase his bomb capacity so he has more of those to spend on the fight. Definitely
Speaking of, that's exactly what GTG just did. Doesn't get mentioned often, but in current versions of the randomizer, bomb upgrades, as well as arrow upgrades in modes other than retro, are 100 rupees per.
Right, looks like potions are going to be enough for Frostbite. He grabs some blues and heads right back to Misery Mire. So potions are going to help him a lot in this fight, not just to heal up after getting hit by the laser, but he'll be able to use damage boost strats, where he steps into the ooze with a spin ready, and steps right into the middle of all the little eyes to get all of them with a single spin. It's still a long fight with the fighter sword, but it'll be a lot quicker than what he was doing before.
Alternatively, he could also draw the eyes over for hammer strats, which is a trick used in swordless, but that's a tough fight. As GTG takes the floor out from underneath the guard, that's always funny. To answer that in chat, that would basically be retro swordless. Because in swordless mode, to do silverless strats with a hammer is basically frame perfect hits. And that is not fun. It took Andy like 7.5 minutes to do that, so it's not viable.
Oh, Hitzian found the Master Sword. Did he do the Take Any Cave, or did he find another one?
Not sure, to be honest. Maybe Chad saw something.
Fight.
Yeah, the Argus looks like it's turned stone cold. But I do like the paint color scheme. It's an improvement over that orangey scheme.
It's taking down Argus here in Ice Palace, leaving him just 1 crystal to go. So Hitzian currently taking the lead for our race here.
Plasma Kappa's had enough of these guards and is just gonna light them up.
Frostbite bonking out of frustration, I assume. I'm not sure what was happening.
Well, to be fair, has anybody raged like, I've seen some pretty good rages of late. I think I did a good one myself that I hope somebody clipped. Excuse me. As now GTG is taking on the Cotton Candy Pink Argus as Frostbite goes for round 2. And this time he is throwing bombs into the center.
He's using, trying to use some hammer strats here. I wish he had just used some damage strats and just drank his potions. It would have been way
Maybe he's
simpler.
saving that due to the fact that this fight can be brutal.
Down to 3 hearts, he's going to drink his first potion.
Good time to do that.
Plastic F is starting his pink Argus fight in Ice Palace. No double pulls today, just gonna hook and swipe.
That's one way to go about Argus with the Master Sword. Meanwhile, Frostbite's through phase 1 of Vitreous.
Yeah, phase 2 with the hammer is not so bad. I think it's like 12 hammer hits, but you can do like this little figure 8 pattern that he's doing to get Vitreous in an easier spot to hammer.
Yeah, the hammer's hitbox can make that kill tough, but it's certainly more doable and more advisable. As now Hitsuyan is against Vitreous and using some damage boost strats. Runs out of health, but with a fairy would be fine.
Yeah, he knew he had that
it's
fairy.
fine.
He was prepared to die.
And it's time to drop some numbers in to see where the GT Big Key is. But I'm going to add a little bonus to that. Will there be a sword in Ganon's tower? I'm going to say yes, because why not? I'm being nice today.
Yeah, it's really likely for them to find a sword here in GT, but not necessarily before the big key, and it is still possible that it's not in here at all. So big gamble from Frostbite choosing to go to GT instead of checking or taking caves.
Well, sometimes in these races you have to roll the Gamble-matic 9000 and hope that it comes up in your favor.
Yeah, it's definitely something he needs to do to win the race right now. If he finds a sword on the way to the big key, or at least very close to it, he takes this race. Like, he'll have the advantage. He's going to get to GT, looks like maybe a minute before Hitsuyan.
Two swords in GT would be memories of times where GT oftentimes in seeds had 2 or sometimes 3 swords. There were some people that weren't happy in those days, I'll say that much.
I'm not sure if Hitsuyan was checking the shop there, or if he just walked into the wrong door.
Could be a bit of both. There's the can of Burna. It did require the boots after all, because it was on the GT Torch.
Just a hard container, some bombs, no sword. Give me a sword. Another bottle. I mean, not the worst thing to find. It's some green potions.
Yeah, green potions generally good to find. Especially when you're in GT, because you're going to use a lot of magic to begin with. But with all 3 medallion options, I would not be surprised to see heavy medallion usage in Gauntlet. Speaking of inverted mode take any caves, there was a clip that was shown where Dark Chapel was one of those take any caves in an inverted retro scene.
Really?
Yeah, happened to Willard.
Wait, so if you saved and quit to Sanctuary or whatever, did it put you in the Take Any cave?
No, it still started you in the Dark Chapel,
But,
but
you walk
exiting
out
and
walk back in.
re-entering
Yeah, that's funny.
is what triggered the change.
That is
There's
hilarious.
the baby. I was not keeping track of numbers.
Yeah, Frostbite finds the big key, but no sword. He's gonna continue up. Oh, he's going over to Rando Room. I thought he would just go up to the top and hope for the best.
We've got 2 Vitreous fights going, 2 different strats. Plasma Kappa using the bow strat, which is definitely the faster strat, even with the 10 rupees per shot.
Yeah, and just like that, Hitsian takes the lead. He's already going up the gauntlet. He got a sword before coming to GT and will not have to continue the Rando Room like Frostbite's doing.
Sounds about right. That would have been 8. Good job. Never picked 8. So number 9 searching for a sword was just 5 rupees. No, number 10, excuse me.
Give me a sword, Rando Room.
Well, we got a Book of Medora.
And some more fetch quests.
And a shovel to probably bury the seed afterwards, I would imagine. As it looks like everybody's coming up to Ganon's Tower now. GTG is going to be in the same predicament as Frostbite. As our third, well, I was about to say that's a pretty vanilla-looking Room 3 gauntlet, but nope. Big chest open, no sword.
Hitsian having a double of a time here in the gauntlet, dealing with these really annoying, slimy little guys that crawl into the walls. And I think this is Trinex? Yup.
No, that is a blind fight for Frostbite. We found our Trinex. Ice Rod confirmed to be required.
Thankfully, everybody managed to pick that up on the island, or on the floating island.
To make this Trinex fight even worse, you've got a shooter shooting at you, which, yeah, I've never liked those things.
Oh, Hensian ran into a little bit of trouble, down to 1.5 hearts. Frostbite unfortunately does not find a sword behind Ice Blind. He's just gonna go up the gauntlet and hope he finds one up there. Ooh, taking a fireball. Hits the end! Hits the end! Fire Shield coming in clutch right there. He makes it.
Fire Shield, the MVP for Hitsuyan right now.
Yeah, he was dead man walking without that shield.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, hey, it's the shell of Trinex in the next room.
Oh, he has a fairy still. Okay. It's not nearly as exciting as it should have been. Now imagine Hitsu is gonna check these chests for us.
So, 2 of our runners did not find the Take Any cave that had the sword in it, unfortunately. So, because of that, yeah.
Titsian makes it through Trinex and then has some trouble with not walking off the ledge here. Thankfully, he did have that fairy. He's fine. Just a little amusing to die in this room, but not to Trinex. Alright, he should be opening these chests for us. We got a mirror shield. Okay. And some powder. Powder, definitely not bad to find. Although it's probably not an anti-fairy with it, he'll still be able to powder the bunny beam. There was an anti-fairy, it's just on the outside. And there's a sword at the gauntlet chest.
Wow, game, you dirty, dirty troll. You dirty, dirty troll. To make things even dirtier, a Helmosaur 2 up where you would fight Moldorm the second time. Here it is advisable to use bomb strats.
Oh, Hitzian taking a fall there after using up all of his bombs.
And no, he's got one bomb left. What took him down? His own bomb.
Yeah, it's really uncomfortable to use the hammer here because Helmosaur likes to walk all the way down like that and push you up against the edge.
And then just smack you off. So yeah, this is a very brutal fight.
That sword in...
Honestly, you might have better luck just swinging the hammer from the side. As GTG's going for the tile room strat, I like this play.
Yeah, unfortunately, GTG and Frostbite neither knew that there was going to be a sword in the back, so they both wasted a bunch of time checking all these extra locations.
But we do get to see the pattern, and it's just a piece of heart. It was a good play to check the tile room in this situation. It just didn't pan out.
Alright, Hitzian manages to knock off Helmosaur's mask. Unfortunately, he's not in a very safe position.
Move!
Yeah, I don't think Helmosaur can walk down so much that he actually pushes you off. There's always going to be enough space for you at the bottom. but it can
The
be pretty
sides
unnerving.
seem a lot safer than the bottom.
Nice spike roller.
Oh, mercy. That is just, that's disgusting. Baby Helmasaur room being a big nasty.
Hitzian makes it all the way to Agatu. He's got a tempered sword and 4 hearts. That's all you need.
Is that a double or a triple? I couldn't tell. Either way, Hitsuyan finishes the fight. Yeah, no doubt. That Helmasaur room was a literal hellway.
Yeah, unfortunately, he didn't grab that Cane of Burna. He would have just been able to dash right through it with otherwise. Yeah, Hitzian's going to have a much easier fight with Gaming here than GTG and Frostbite will.
Same can be said for Plasma Kappa, because Plasma Kappa will get Tempered Sword.
I mean, he probably will, but, you know, not necessarily. I mean, it makes sense to grab the chest when you're only on Master Sword, but, like, if you're feeling behind, I can see some players not even bothering. Because, like, the chance of that chest being a sword is low.
Hitsuyan's in phase 3. The Silvers were in Turtle Rock. Game, that's dirty.
Yeah, I don't think Hitzian's too worried about that, though, because he never even found the bow.
He never needed to find the bow.
So continuing his Silverless Ganon. And there it goes. Ganon down for Hitzian.
Yep, down goes Ganon. We got bacon on the restream. Get your GGs and chat for Hitsuyan 1337, who knocks out the pig and finishes up with an official SRL time of 1:44.14. That is our second place overall time. First on the restream, our first place time at the Boker with a 1:37 flat.
And we welcome Hitzian to the voice chat. How you doing, GG?
Yeah, GG. I'm fine. What about you?
Nerve-wracked.
Oh man, this Flipper's so good protected by the guards.
Yeah, that was really frustrating early on. I think you and GTG both took a death at the race game trying to get to those.
Yeah, I had no weapon at this point. That was not so good that I started from the bottom.
So I personally missed it, but did you find the Master Sword in the Take Any cave, or was there a Force Sword somewhere?
Yeah. I found the Master Sword at the flute spot 5 in the Take Any cave.
Okay, cool. So we don't know where the Force Sword is.
I checked so many caves of the any percent, so I was sure there's one sword and I was still on fighter. And I was thinking about if I get Viddy now in one of the dungeons, check the any percent caves first. You can check it with flute fast now. And then I was lucky and it was the first one I fluted to.
Pretty clutch for sure. Unfortunately, GTG and Frostbite both never went to that Take Any cave and had to find their Master Sword in the Gauntlet of Canis Tower. So they actually lost much time. Frostbite, I think, was ahead of you right up until he decided to continue on to Rando Room, looking for a sword. But even if he had gone up the Gauntlet, you probably still would have won just with the faster Ganon fight.
Yeah. I wasted a lot of time with checking all other any percent caves and renting back for them because I forgot a lot of ones at the start of the game. So my routing was really bad, I guess.
About that bow, though, do you know where it is? Do you
Yeah. Yeah, it's an Aga Tower, I guess.
Yeah, in the
Yep.
second Tower.
I was ready if I found silvers that I mirror maybe to Aga Tower and pick that up.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty quick. You can just mirror right from the Ganon drop.
Yeah. But I tried also to find the bow in the other locations with the hint I got from the dark shopping mall. And then it was the last location I had left in the dark, so
Isn't that always the case?
yeah. Yeah, and GG to Egg for the first place.
Yeah, I guess he's just better than everybody else.
Yeah, in this mode, that is his favorite mode. In all other modes, he have no chance, and he noticed.
At least the boss shuffle wasn't too frustrating this time. I think only one time on the restream did somebody find a boss that they couldn't kill. Not counting the Helma Soul fight and the sound, which we can get back to really quick. I forget who it was. Somebody had to double dip Ice Palace because they didn't get the shot first. I want to say Frostbite.
Yeah, that was really bad that the hook shot is on Moth, so you need the sword out of Eastern or on the any percent cave to get that. I don't know where the last sword was.
Yeah, nobody does.
Yeah, we never found the fourth sword in the restream.
Turtle Rock Desert, probably.
Yeah, Turtle Rock seems like most likely for sure.
Don't know why GTG was trying to spin, because he can't spin with the Cane of Burna active.
And what a tough Helmasaur fight on the Moldon 2 spot.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
unfortunate fall there.
Wasted all my bombs.
Yeah, that certainly is one of the toughest places to fight Helmasaur 2 in an Enemizer setting.
Oh, I forgot about
see
that
joke, Mark, and
egg covered the Helma fight.
Meanwhile, Plasma Kappa takes down Ganon. We got more bacon. Frostbite's still working on phase 4. Get your GGs in chat for Plasma Kappa, who's gonna finish second overall in the restream.
GG.
So 150-20, fourth place. Salty Fry got third with a 149.19. And Frostbite's finished off Ganon. So Bacon back to back. That's fifth place, third overall for Frost. Fifth place overall, third on Restream for Frostbite with a 150.37. So not going to Random Room wound up being the difference between Plasma Kappa and Frostbite.
Oh. Send. Swords.
Not help.
Swords are help.
Yeah, swords are good. You know, everybody likes swords.
Like, oh, there are 20 things I can do. They all need a sword.
I heard that. We're now joined by Plasma Kappa and Frostbite 3030. GG's, you two. That was a close finish between the both of you.
GG.
Were you looking for a sword too, Plasma? Or
GG's.
No,
Oh,
he
yeah.
found his.
where were they all? I
Food
feel like I
Spot
lost
5.
because I didn't find the swords that weren't in Ganon's tower.
There
Food
was-
Spot 5 had the take any cave.
Oh, I checked the dark one too. That's annoying.
Yeah, I was all in on every take any cave.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would have saved probably 12 to 15 minutes if I'd checked that, because I full cleared Swamp when I was in Go mode. I died to Vitreous with Fighter Sword and no bow. And then I full cleared Ganon's tower basement except Tower Room with, and then I had to do the Gauntlet with Fighter Sword and no bow. So like, it cost me so much time not checking that damn thing.
Good news for you, the tile room was just a piece of heart.
Yeah, I wasn't going to check it. I figured if worse comes to worse, I saw that Salty Fry had posted that map of all the Take Any caves, and I was just going to go through one by them until I found a sword, if I didn't find one, either in Ganon's tower or in the front of the cave. But yeah, I think I routed it pretty well. I just, I got really annoyed when I died to Vitreous, and I didn't have a sword forever. Like, I had the one sword, but I didn't have a second sword.
Yes. Kept trying to save my blues. And ended up working out very poorly, especially in Skull.
Yeah, I got so lucky in Skullwoods. I went into the back with one heart, and I didn't think I was going to survive. And yeah, I gained hearts.
Yeah, that is not how mine went.
Yeah, no, like I'm saying, I was lucky. I feel like I got lucky in a couple places. I got lucky in Chicken Hut, where I just threw the bee down, and he occupied the enemies enough for me to sneak in and out, not die. And then in back of Skullwoods. But then, yeah, like I said, I just didn't. Once I found one sword, my sort of interest in looking for the Take Any caves was way down at that point. But obviously, that was a mistake.
Oh yeah, I just kind of kept going with it. Because there were places I could go with a sword, yeah, TT and Skull right there.
Yeah. Well, I had the one sword from Eastern already, but I didn't check the Take Any cave by Eastern on my way to Eastern, which I would have had two swords then at about 12 minutes into this game or 15 minutes into the game, and it would have been a lot nicer.
Yeah. Did not go to Eastern for a while.
Yeah, I did it before Myths.
Yeah, you checked that Eastern Sword way earlier than everybody else.
Yeah, I figured, first of all, I forgot about Back of Escape, so I didn't go there, and I hate going, I just try and skip Front of Escape and open every single time until I can't, which means I often last locate my Go mode in the Front of Escape, but I'm fine doing that. I just figured, without needing the bow, with the Fire Rod, there's like a 99% chance I'm going to be able to get to the boss, and then I wasn't necessarily confident I could beat the boss if it had been like, you know, certain bosses I wouldn't have obviously been able to beat it, but it was just an annoying long one, not a difficult one. Did anyone find the bow?
Castle Tower, Plasma Kappa are the only runner to get that bow.
I mean, I thought it might be helpful.
Yeah, if I knew it was there, I would have grabbed. It would have saved me time for sure. I mean, I wouldn't have died to Vitreous. That cost me like probably 5 minutes just straight
Can't
up.
remember if I had MS when I did Front of Escape,
Yeah.
and because it's like, okay, I have the bow hint from the hint no one checks, and it's like, oh wait, I'm out of dark chests. Let me pull up my hint guide on my phone, and it's like, oh, that.
Yeah. I had. I mean, I had go mode so early. Like, this would have been like a 110 seed if it had been a regular seed. Not really, obviously, but like I got go mode. Like I think I had go mode Canis Maria in right after I found the hammer. Like I literally found them in back-to-back checks, and then I checked a few things looking for a sword, and then I should have just go moded everything. And in retrospect, what I should have done is just go moded everything, hope to run into a sword, which I would have. At the top of GT, I would have saved 5 minutes in GT, and then if I didn't find a sword, you know there's only a limited number of spots one could be, just go hunt that after you do the climb. But I thought about that, like, as I was fighting Ganon. Because that definitely would have been faster than me than full clearing all the shit I did looking for a stupid sword. God, I hate looking... Nothing's worse in this game than sword mode.
Yeah. You only
Through that. Also, sorry about the drop. Thunderstorms going in the area. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
GGG's finished up again, and so that's more bacon. Get your GGs in chat. He wraps up with a 156.41. I'm gonna need somebody to check the SRO room because I've got to reconnect everything.
GTG finishes 6th overall with a time of 156.46.
Yeah, but this is one of those seeds, like, I don't often think, like, oh, I'd really like to rerun this one and only do one thing differently, but this is one, it's like, why don't I just redo this one and pick the sword up right away instead of never getting it?
Right.
So ridiculous. I mean, I think this is the second retro mode. It's funny, Enemizer retro mode is kind of absurd, because, like, the bow is almost literally never needed in Enemizer seeds. I mean, it can be helpful, right? But, like, unless Helmasaur has something, you don't need the bow. And basically the only issue, for the most part, in retro, I guess if you're not cognizant of key counts, but I'm assuming, I know all the restream runners would be and whatnot, but, like, it's really not that big of a deal. I had so much money and so many keys, like, I could have just opened doors for fun.
Yeah, well, I opened with Houlihan.
Same with
and
me, yeah.
Same's come Sora. So
I didn't. I thought about it afterwards, though.
it helped that there was absolutely nothing in the water.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Fire Shield turned out to be the real MVP for one of you guys. Especially in that Trinex fight. Wow.
And it was like, when I got there, I was I hope I get a boss that doesn't use any magic. .jpg.
Yeah. It's always Trinex, right? Like, I've never played like, I think I've played 3 full boss shuffle Enemizer seeds, and Trinex has been in that spot every single time. So, I was totally expecting it, and of course he spoils you before you actually get in the room, right? So, I was not looking forward to it. I had Fighter Sword, I figured it was going to be a nightmare. I would have died if I didn't catch a fairy in the gauntlet. Like, it was, I don't know, I played very poorly. I mean, I just didn't have enough, I just didn't have a sword, I couldn't kill anything. It was really frustrating. But after I died to Vitreous, it was definitely one of those things where it's like, I can't forfeit because I'm on Restream, but I really, really want to forfeit, because I don't want to go back there again with Fighter Sword. I'm not going to go look for any more items, I'm just going to go get potions and go right back, and it was horrible.
Yeah, unfortunately, you were in the lead, Frostbite.
Of course! I God-rutted the dang thing.
And the only problem was, like, after you got the big key, you had to keep checking chests looking for his sword.
Yeah, no, I figured that. I don't think I was probably faster than Ack in there, who won the race, but, like, I knew I was doing well. I was in go mode at 1 hour, like, not even, like, it was even before that, I think. Now, it was go mode where I had to go pick up the Bombos medallion, and I actually didn't know I had the Quake medallion, so I was a little worried that, or maybe I didn't have it at that time and I found it afterwards, I have no idea, but I didn't think I was guaranteed to have the Meyer medallion, but, yeah. This is just a like a learning thing for retro. It's like in a normal mode when I'm in sword go mode, I'll check a few more chests than I will ever do in retro again if I haven't found the take any sword. Because I don't know how many take any caves there are, but there can't be that many of them, and I checked a bunch of them anyway. So.
4 of them. I believe I
There's
found them
4
all.
total.
But what is there, like 15 locations they can be or something like that? Like, how many is it?
It's a lot of
Quite
locations.
a few.
Yeah.
Like even some caves that wouldn't be included, that I wouldn't think would be included, such as the upgrade ferry, I believe.
Yeah, I
is
checked
included,
Upgrade Ferry, I checked the Arrow game. Yeah. Honestly, I feel like the only ones I didn't check were Dark Shopping Mall. I'm assuming those are still only the one can be, and then like the one that it was, and then the one by Desert. I think that might.
But all 3 of the Dark Shopping Mall entrances can be Take Any Cave, like even the hint one.
Can a shop be replaced by a Take Any Cave? I don't even know how this works.
I don't think shops can be.
But aren't 2 of the
because
things in
those
Dark
are-
Shopping Mall shops?
Or I think are 2 of them? That should just be 1, right?
I don't know. I've never gone there.
I have no idea. I don't go in those entrances except an entrance randomizer where they're not they're supposed to
Everything.
be.
Yeah.
But no, it's Retro's a weird mode. It's I think pairing it with Enemizer's is interesting because it almost sort of removes. It's like basically like playing for me. Like you just play this with only 3 swords in the pool, and you probably won't need the bow. But like it's a weird mode in that basically money. It's the only ever time money is a concern in this game, right? There's so much rupee overload in the pool. That it really isn't even a concern for most retro seeds, but I could see if you had to open more like doors or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I was very safe with the keys. I had 3 or 4 at the end.
Yeah, I only bought 1, and I only kind of bought it because I found a shop, and I was like, yeah, I'm here. I got a lot of money. I definitely knew I didn't need it. I knew about. I mean, before I hit Go mode, I figured unless I have to go into TR, I'm not going to need any keys.
Yeah, about like 5. Maybe to skip keys, but then muscle memory kicked in. I didn't skip any keys.
Yeah, that's sort of what I thought about it, but then I realized I can't skip them. Like, it's really hard to skip those hotkeys, you know? Like, the muscle memory is so strong.
I mean, I've played quite a few retro seeds, and like on average, you have to buy like anywhere between like 1 and 5 keys to finish a seed. It's pretty rare that you have to buy more than that. But the Take Any Caves are like the real problem area of retro, especially when they put that sword in logic, because it used to be just an extra sword.
Yeah.
But now it's in logic, and it can be logically required to find the sword. So I feel like you either check all the Take Any Caves until you find the sword, or you check no caves whatsoever and save all that time from all those screen transitions.
Yeah, my theory is I check them until I find a sword.
Yeah, I was like, well, this is retro, and that's a fun part of retro, so we'll play the cave game.
Sometimes you just find it real quick, and it's like nothing. This was a kind of an awkward one for most of our runners.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it was like what the flute. The annoying thing is if there hadn't have been a sword at GT, it probably would have been the very first spot I would have. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say what I would have done. I probably would have gone into Escape first, but then I would have started looking for caves because that one's right next to the flute spot. It probably would have been the first one I checked. But yeah, this was a silly seed.
Yep.
It was funny because I found all kinds of good stuff in GT that could have blocked swords too.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, Bokomador and Shovel were in GT. And speaking of...
And the powder.
Oh, yeah, that too. And speaking of, I'm looking over the image linked in chat, and there are 19 potential Take Any Caves in the Light World.
Yeah.
So, odds of finding one in the Light World for a particular one that you're checking, not very good, I will admit.
Yeah, but like I checked probably half of them throughout my run. So if I had to look for a sword, it would have been faster to look at those caves, I think, than... I mean, I would have had to go to somewhere like TR and then keys become a thing, or go back into Ice Palace or somewhere like that. Like, did anyone find, like, the other sword?
Nope. We have no idea. Probably Turtle Rock, though.
I hope it's not hammer pegs, because I completely forgot to check that.
It wasn't.
Nope. Not hammer pegs. Can confirm.
I laughed when I found the red mail on the pyramid, too. I knew I was going to die if I dropped in again and without refilling my health. I had Master Sword Silverless with like 4 hearts. It was not going well. And I meant to capture the fairy, but I had more. I cannot catch fairies, as evidenced by this run. Like, good God. I almost died to the anti-fairy before Moldorm spot. I think I tried to power remote 19 times and I just gave up eventually.
Well, to be fair, sometimes the fairy stroll, you just swing, you're in range, you swing the net, and the fairy just moves right to you.
I can't hit him with the powder, that's my problem. Yeah, but that's the other thing too, you got full health, you're trying to bottle it, and it's like, no, I want to help you right now.
I feel like the better you get at the game, like the less good you are at dealing with powdering anti-fairies, because you just don't do it very often.
And the places you do it in the same spots, like in Meyer or in TR or wherever, right? So GT, but no, this is I love Enemizer. It's like my favorite mode, but I prefer it to be paired with like all dungeons keys rather than retro.
Yeah, well, just
Speaking of Hitsuya, what are you doing right now? All dungeons keys Enemizer?
What?
What?
That was fun. I'm gonna hop out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Same. Really appreciate putting it on and letting me run. And GG's to Kappa Hitsuyan and to GTG.
GG's.
GG's. Thank you,
Alright,
guys.
GG's, guys. Alright, before we get out of here, one little bit of business. Actually, 2. First off, starting on Friday, this Friday, Speed Gaming Live qualifiers for the Link to the Past Rando Tournament get underway. These will be a series of 20 open mode, hintless races proceeding at the upcoming Speed Gaming Live event in October. While the regular daily races will continue, these streams will have their priority given to the Speed Gaming Live qualifiers. And you do not need to be attending SG Live to participate in these qualifiers. However, the Sunday Weekly Open will remain a regular open with hints unless the community decides otherwise. And some of the community dailies that are normally open may be other modes in the next few weeks. Stay tuned. And for tonight, the 9 o'clock open race will feature this hintless mode and will be on Speed Gaming 3. So more stuff to look forward to for tonight. And speaking of tonight, that is it for Speed Gaming until 6 o'clock tonight, where Speed Gaming 1 will be hosting a Metroid Zero mission tournament match with later tonight at 9 o'clock, the aforementioned daily, along with Magic the Gathering Arena on Speed Gaming 2, and Speed Gaming Main has the SMB3 Rando Weekly Race, and there's something a little different planned for that one, so you're not going to want to miss any of those. So, that being said, any final thoughts on the seed, Koi?
Retro is best.
Retro certainly is a thing, I'll say that much. As is Enemizer, both together. Yikes. I kid. Anyway, feel free to follow our Forerunners on Restream. They put on a heck of a show for all of us, as well as my co-commentator, Koi. He does a lot of A Link to the Past randomizers.
I've played it before, yeah.
Oh yeah, and our trackers behind the scenes. So with that, I'd say it's high time to get on out of here. As for my co-commentator, Koi, our trackers, and everyone behind the scenes at Speed Gaming, I'm Leslie Pro. Have a good night, a good day, good afternoon. Watch out for Lionels, and be the best you can be.
We'll
See you later.